In this presentation on syntax, I'm going to draw a lot on a book called Beginning Syntax by Linda Thomas that seems unfortunately to be out of print. Thomas starts us out by introducing a convenient shorthand for discussing syntax. The S above stands for sentence. The arrow stands for consists of or contains. So this rule reads, a sentence contains a word and a word and a word and a word and a word in that order. And this rule, well true, isn't very helpful. If sentences just consisted of words, and if elephant, the, peanut, and eats are all words, then elephant that eats peanut the would be a sentence. In English, it is not. So we need to look for a clearer way of explaining what a sentence is. By the way, when you see an asterisk, remember that asterisk indicates that the sentence that follows is ungrammatical. Now, example 2a, elephant the eats peanut the isn't grammatical, but the next two sentences are. We could say both 2b, the elephant eats the peanut, and 2c, the peanut eats the elephant. 2c may seem very odd, and we could say it isn't semantically correct, but it is syntactically correct. Both elephant and peanut are nouns, and each can play the role of the subject or the object of the verb eat. So, you are familiar with the term article to describe the words the, a, and an. The is a definite article and is used when we are referring to things that are already known. A and an are indefinite articles used with things not yet known. Thomas explains, determiners are small groups of words and they act to limit or determine to some extent the possible range of things which the noun can refer to. Determiners can be used instead of an article, but not with an article. We can say the wolf or this wolf, but not the this wolf or this the wolf. Based on the realization that sentences 2b and 2c are correct, or at least possible, syntactically correct, we can devise sentence rule version 2. Our sentence rule version 1 was a sentence consists of word plus word plus word plus word plus word. Sentence rule version 2, a sentence consists of a determiner plus a noun plus a verb plus a determiner plus a noun. The rule, a sentence consists of a determiner plus a noun plus a verb plus a determiner and plus a noun in that order, is still a bit bulky. And it also really doesn't capture the relationship between the determiner and the noun. The determiner and the noun put together constitute a noun phrase. We call it a noun phrase because the noun is the obligatory element. We could have a noun phrase without a determiner. For example, mice live in the basement. But you can't have one without a noun. The live in the basement is not possible. You may have heard that pronouns are words that can replace nouns, but that's not entirely accurate. If it were accurate, then sentence 4b would be grammatically correct. It isn't because a pronoun actually replaces a noun phrase, and so you can use this substitution test to determine what is actually a part of the noun phrase and what isn't. Notice that in 4d, the ugly green spider can be replaced by it. This shows that the ugly green spider is a noun phrase. Also notice that sentence 4b is incorrect. The it bit the him. Since the is part of the noun phrase, it also needed to be replaced by the pronoun. It bit him is fine, but the it bit the him leaves part of the noun phrase behind. Pronouns replace the entire noun phrase. Use a pronoun substitution test to determine what a noun phrase is. So now we can rewrite our earlier rule to make it even more succinct, while giving us even more information. A sentence consists of, this is sentence rule version 3 now, a sentence consists of a noun phrase, a verb, and a noun phrase. A noun phrase consists of an optional determiner and a noun, or a noun phrase consists of a pronoun. Now we have said that a noun phrase can have a determiner, but it isn't necessary. And we show that by putting the determiner in parentheses. That shows that it's optional. So sentence rule number 3, a sentence consists of a noun phrase, a verb, and a noun phrase, helps us to explain sentences 5a, 5b, and 5c. The boy threw the ball, the boy threw it, he threw it. It doesn't quite help us explain sentences 5d or 5e. Paul and John are proper nouns, so we should therefore acknowledge one more rule. A noun phrase can consist of a proper noun. To show that a noun phrase can consist of an optional determiner and a noun, a pronoun, or a proper noun, we can use these curly brackets. Like noun phrases, the verb phrases also consist of more than a verb. A verb phrase can contain one constituent, example, the verb, as in Carol cried, or more than one constituent, example, verb plus noun phrase, as in the dog wants a bone. In the sentence Carol cried, the verb phrase only contains the verb cried. In the sentence the dog wants a bone, the verb phrase contains both the verb wants and the noun phrase a bone. How do we know that wants a bone is a verb phrase? We can use a substitution test like we did with noun phrases. So here's a substitution test we can use to identify verb phrases. We can substitute does to, do to, or did to for a verb phrase. Look at the sentences above. Both Lily read the book and Kathy did too are grammatically correct. Neither Kathy did the book to nor Kathy did to the book are grammatically correct for reasons that are obvious when you read the sentences in 6b. The did in Kathy did too replaces the entire verb phrase and means Kathy read the book too. The two incorrect sentences would read Kathy read the book too, or Kathy read the book to the book. We know that the third and fourth sentences are incorrect because of our intuition, regardless of whether or not we could explain it. But this substitution test will allow you to use your own grammatical intuitions to identify the complete verb phrases. Earlier, we said that a sentence can consist of a noun phrase plus verb plus noun phrase. We can now rewrite this as a sentence can consist of a noun phrase plus a verb phrase. This better reflects what we know about sentences as shown through the two substitution tests we have used. We also know that a noun phrase consists of, or at least can consist of, a determiner and a noun, and that a verb can consist of a verb and a noun phrase. To summarize the rules we have learned so far, a sentence consists of a noun phrase and a verb phrase. A noun phrase consists of either a noun, with or without a determiner, a pronoun, or a proper noun. A verb phrase consists of a verb or a verb and a noun phrase. We know that verb phrases can include other things though. For example, they can include adverbs. The rule at the top of the screen reads, an adverb phrase consists of an optional degree adverb and an adverb. Degree adverbs are adverbs that show the intensity or degree of an action, an adjective, or another adverb. Some examples of degree adverbs and adverbs are given in the table. So sentences like, he slept rather slowly would be grammatically incorrect. It would be grammatically correct even if they don't make a whole lot of sense. He played basketball extremely lazily shows us that a verb phrase can consist of both a noun phrase and an adverb phrase. How would you rewrite our rule for verb phrase given that both a noun phrase and an adverb phrase are possible but neither is required? Okay, prepositional phrases now. This rule reads, a prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and an optional noun phrase. Sentences 7a, he ran over, and 7b, he walked up, contain a prepositional phrase that consists of only a preposition. Sentence 7c, the smoke rose, does not contain a prepositional phrase, while 7d, the smoke rose above the clouds, contains a prepositional phrase above the clouds that has both the preposition above and a noun phrase, the clouds. Is the prepositional phrase part of the verb phrase? Let's try our substitution test on 7e. The traveler cooked over the fire, the old man did too. So the old man did too means the old man cooked over the fire too. So did replaced cooked over the fire. So the prepositional phrase over the fire is part of the verb phrase. Our substitution test has taught us that the prepositional phrase is part of the verb phrase. So this rule reads, an adjective phrase consists of an optional adverb phrase and an adjective. We don't usually think of adverbs as modifying adjectives, but they do. They can. The dog ran over. The wet dog ran over. The thoroughly wet dog ran over. And the quite thoroughly wet dog ran over. The first 8a has a noun phrase without an adjective phrase, the dog. 8b, the wet dog, the noun phrase now has a determiner, an adjective, and a noun. 8c, the thoroughly wet dog ran over, the noun phrase has the determiner, an adverb, and an adjective and a noun. And then 8d, the quite thoroughly wet dog ran over, has a determiner, a degree adverb, an adjective, and the noun. All of these are part of the noun phrase. As we could prove, because it ran over substitutes for any of the noun phrases in any of those sentences. So, this is just a start on sentence rules, and you will come up with sentences that don't fit these because we don't have a complete list of sentence rules here, just a beginning. But here's what we have so far. We know that in English a sentence contains a noun phrase and a verb phrase. We know that a noun phrase can include a determiner and an adjective phrase, but that it doesn't always. But it must include either a noun, a pronoun, or a proper noun. We know that a verb phrase must have a verb, but that it could also include a noun phrase, a prepositional phrase, or an adverb phrase. We know an adverb phrase must have an adverb, but could also include a degree adverb. We know a prepositional phrase must have a preposition, but could also include a noun phrase. And we know that an adjective phrase must contain an adjective, but could also include an adverb phrase. This is very incomplete, and you can probably see tons of examples of sentences that it does not describe. It's a start in sentence rules.